Yeah.
I've always been that way. It's like, if I talk to them long enough, I'll figure out who they are, then they'll walk away and
Yeah.
Beck, you'll go,
Hey.
"Who's that?"
Are you? Yeah, I know, I know them. I just can't put their name.
Then you get about 5 miles down the road.
Ah. All these tricks will go through the alphabet. and- Yeah, it is just isn't working as much as it used to. I'll tell you that much. Morning, Tracy.
Right.
How's JJ?
It looked like cattle prices are going down, Eddie.
No. I bought some yesterday at Rock Creek. It's like,
Where did you buy them?
Rock Creek.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. No, yeah, yesterday was, it was more.
More
Yeah,
Labor Day.
yeah.
They still do a big Labor Day.
It ain't
sale?
it ain't a big sale
Yeah,
anymore.
that's what, I was
It's
talking to
just-
that Paul Hogan, he said on a typical.
All right, we got 10 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order and we'll rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, thanks everybody for showing up today. It was for me back to school this morning, so I got rid of 3 kids. But it was, of course, one of them wonderful mornings where they've had 3 months off and trying to get them going in the rain and all that stuff. So yeah, we started about 6 a.m. and we're almost late by 8 o'clock. So, but anyways, thanks for everybody for being here on time and, we will start with public forum. Come on up, Denise.
Morning, Denise Weiss, Grafton, Minnesota. For about the last 17 months, I've been here and I've talked about cannabis, asking and requesting that it be zoned in the correct areas to protect residents. That's not what I'm going to be talking about today, although I think in August when I talked, I was talking about, and I gave the reference for, there'd be like 4 Napas and not having to follow interim permits and so forth, just at administration, and that most other businesses wouldn't have to follow that type of, it'd be a much more lengthy process. So in that, we've heard a lot over the last year of we have to pay our fair share, that no one is above the law. And I hate to say that when we look at each commissioner, we kind of think of the same thing, that everybody is equal, that you guys are just the same as that we are, we pay our fair share with our property taxes, and that that your votes are pure because you're not encumbered by anything. So I know that we use Beacon, and Beacon is used by the county for a few things. And there was something that I noticed in August, and then I also noticed again in September, and I just pulled it this morning. And Beacon, it says it's not to be used as a legal document. So we'll put that disclaimer out there. But what it does say, Mr. Chairman, is that at 505 Main Street, that says that you have not paid your property taxes for 2025 and that there's a $248.70 penalty. I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of makes it look bad if everybody here is not paying their fair share and we are also as citizens paying the board to do a job for everybody. I want everybody's votes to be pure. And if this isn't true, hopefully that the county can correct this because it doesn't look good then for you. Everything else I kind of checked, it's pretty accurate. First, second, my taxes are on there. I'm sure everybody else's are on there too. But that would be the one thing that I would be asking is that that is corrected. Either before we leave, either a check or that it can be corrected so that this doesn't look disparaging upon the commissioners when you're trying to make judgments as far as tax forfeited properties or votes on, treasurers being elected to be administrators. It just doesn't look good. It gives the wrong impression. So, with that, that's really all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public forum? Anybody online? All right, so we will look at the agenda. Is there any corrections or revisions?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dave Minke, County Administrator. We have an addition. We're expecting Peyton Crody, who's the field representative for Congressman Pete Stauber. He is not here yet. Just wanted to add him if he shows up, if you can fit him in where it would work for you at that time in the meeting.
Sounds good. All right. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move the agenda.
Okay,
I'll second.
second. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. All right, approve the minutes of the August 19, 2025 regular board meeting and summary for publication.
I'll move that, Chair Ludwig.
Okay. Got a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Holland. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. Acknowledge the minutes of boards, committees, and correspondence, the Pine County Surveyor's Report.
I'll move that.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. Consent agenda.
I'll move the consent, Mr. Chair.
Okay. We got a motion, we got a second.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. All right, regular agenda. And we will do the special personnel committee meeting organizational structure. Ludwig, you want to take it?
Yep, I'll take it. Do you want me to do them all in one?
I think so, unless somebody,
Everybody's had a chance to read it all, I think, probably.
yeah, should be.
Okay, so we met as requested by the board and staff had done a lot of work already. So the result, I think you saw in the pack, was with the restructuring. So with the first part was the revised job description for the auditor treasurer grade 18, authorize internal, external recruitment and identify commissioner involvement in the interview process as required by policy 3.10. The updated job description for the assessor recorder to change the reporting to the county administrator. The job description for environmental services manager, which changes the title and adds cannabis zoning and eliminates GIS and authorize internal, external recruitment. The job description for environmental technician, senior grade 9, rate of 27.72 to 37.85, and authorize internal recruitment. The job description for property records GIS specialist grade 7, salary range 24.66 to 32.70 per hour, authorize internal recruitment. The job description for fiscal officer position and the new grade 10, the incumbent will continue in the position. The job description for information technology manager and human resources manager, to change those job titles to information technology director, human resources director. No change in grade or pay. The incumbents will continue in those positions. Direct the human resources manager to complete memorandums of agreement as necessary with the exclusive representatives to implement the proposed changes. So with that, I want to also say there's no new hire in this at all. And I will make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Recommendation.
I'll second it with a little discussion as well. As Commissioner Ludwig stated, there is no new positions here. These are all current positions. They're just restructured, which we talked about at that last meeting after we hired Kelly to be our administrator. We just wanted to take a good hard look at all these. And I just want to say thanks to the staff for making some, really thinking about this, looking at it, and I think this is a very good layout here. The other thing I wanted to say is some of the positions will go down a grade. I think one would go up a grade, if I was correct on that. But otherwise, yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
And then the title change is only just in name to line up with all the other counties and the market. So if you do advertise, or if we try to fill a slot, people understand what it is compared to what we were using. And that's all it is just to line us up with the rest of the world. Nothing else.
Yep.
So in all, I understand the change in job descriptions and stuff, but when all is said and done, we have to hire an auditor treasurer, correct?
Mhm.
And we have to hire a, what is it called?
Environmental.
Environmental services manager.
Yep.
And is that it?
I think them are the only ones we need to hire. Right?
Are we hiring an additional environmental
Nope.
technician?
Nope.
It's just a grade change.
Yep, that would be the old land resources manager. Right? Oh,
Mr.
the
Chair,
environmental technician. Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
Commissioner Nelson. So there's 3 environmental technicians. One of them would potentially be promoted to that higher senior position, but there'd be no increase in total headcount.
So we'd be looking at, and one of those positions had been vacant
Had been.
For a
the length of time.
well, since this spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, the land and resources manager that's proposed to be retitled environmental services manager has been vacant since about April.
With Kelly moving up, we need somebody to fill the auditor treasurer position.
Yep.
And that position. Cause I think she's kind of been doing that.
Well, is doing that.
Yeah, and it,
Right.
and it has been open.
Yeah. And that was kind of the whole
Right, right.
point of not rehiring it, because we had some turnover in there, just to take a look. Well, it just so happened that this other deal came up, so
Yeah.
that it was, I don't know if it was perfect timing or bad timing or whatever kind of timing you would call it, but it just gave us an opportunity to look even better at it. And
Well, it appears to me that it does fit with our policy that we talked about last
Yep.
week. And this fits fine with that.
Yeah. yeah, we had some or quite a bit of discussion about that too. Yeah, everything here, any of the things that we haven't hired definitely fit in that 2-month waiting period.
Right.
Any other discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, same thing. Okay,
I think that's numbers bad.
yes, we are gonna take. Let's do Peyton. Yes, there you are. I didn't see where you went. So we're gonna have Peyton Crotty. I think I said that right, right? Yep. He's a field representative for Congressman Stauber. Come up and have some conversation.
Yeah. Right. Well, hello. My name is Peyton Crotty, like was said, and I'm the new hire on Congressman Stauber's team out of the Forest Lake District office. You guys may have ran into my predecessor, Ben De La Forest. He got promoted out to DC. So yeah, I'm the new point of contact, if you will, for Washington, Isani, Chisago, Kanabec, Mille Lacs, and Pine counties. Kelly reached out with some concerns, and we talked with Commissioner Moore a few weeks ago as well about it. Let's start with the cost shift from the one big beautiful bill. I know there's been a lot of concern about that, and I kind of want to clarify some of the congressman's comments that we had a few weeks ago. Sorry about that. Little itch in the throat. There's been some concerns that the congressman's kind of been saying that there's fraud going on with error rates, and that's not what he's implying. And actually, he commends Pine County quite a bit for keeping their error rates below that 6% threshold. And what he's looking for is the all-around state rates to be below that 6% rate. And you guys have been below that the last few years. Go ahead.
I just want to point out, I think we're at 0.
Yep.
on one of those air rates.
And one of them was 3 and one of them was 0, correct?
Right.
Which is good.
So my question to follow that up is, will we, if the state doesn't get their air rate below 6%, even though ours is at 0, will we still be penalized?
That's yes, in terms of, we want to get, because it's a county administered system, but still all of it comes from the state. It still counts as like an overall state rate. So what our goal is we want to get the whole state rates below 6%. And we apologize because if like a lot of metro counties, those rates are well above that 6% threshold. And that will have some short-term burden on counties like Pine County that do so well on that. You have a question, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I just want to reiterate, and
Yeah.
I tried to do that when you were here with the congressman, when we were talking in the parking lot, is that if our air rate is 0, it's hard to get better than 0.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, for us to be penalized to the tune of over $250,000, which we don't have, it seems a little bit unfair to us, and we have no influence on Washington or Hennepin or Ramsey County and in how they administer their programs.
Yeah, and it's a big shift. And the overall goal that I'm sure you got, because you guys are physically responsible, clearly that 0% rate, that's a good thing. We want that overall, the overall state level to be that 6% for the cost savings, but that puts a lot of responsibility on the county level now to get to those rates, and it is a fast shift. So we do apologize for that burden that may be landing on the short term, and we might be missing, like I'm kind of new in this position, like I said, so still trying to understand a lot of this stuff. So and we will be I'm going to be meeting with Rebecca later this week as well, so she can clarify a little bit more if there is stuff that we're missing. I also made sure to get her in contact with Sean Sullivan, who is our healthcare staffer out in DC, and they'll be speaking as well. So if there's anything like that we're missing and any way that we can help, we want to help in any way possible. And yeah, we understand it's a big shift in change of the way things are done. So, but the overall goal is physical responsibility and saving costs in the long run. So is there any further questions on that? I can try my best to answer.
I don't think so.
No? Yeah, and just ask that any I guess further comment or any way that we can help, please reach out and give us guidance. We, like I said, we love Pine County. We want to help you guys any way possible.
I do want to follow up too with a huge thank you to the congressman for coming and listening to the people at Brokema.
Mhm.
They want to invest $5 million. If they got to pay that huge tariff where their equipment is coming from, they can't afford $7.5 million.
Yep. And I made sure
think he
to forward
heard
all
that
that out there
message.
too.
But I really want to thank him for coming here and listening.
Yeah, and yeah, he was impressed. He hadn't been to that facility before. He was very impressed by the amount of jobs that it provided to the local community, how impressive of an operation that they have. So yeah, great organization we have there, and we made sure to forward all their, I guess, the documents that they had that day out to our DC team, and they're going to be working on it now that they're back in session to get those tariff exemptions in, because that would be a primary example of where the administration would want to exempt from tariffs, because that's an essential part, essential things that are only being made in America. Even if it might be a German company, it's essential to American manufacturing to have stuff like that. So, yep, we're going to be working on those tariff exemptions, and yeah, it was great to get out there. There was also some questions about CFP funding. So the office is currently accepting requests for the fiscal year 2026. We especially prioritize projects that relate to hard infrastructure, so road, bridges, and water mainly. And then we tend to, because we get a limited selection, we prioritize the projects that seem to have the most or will have the most impact to the overall community. But yeah, hard infrastructure projects, road, bridges, water, that type of stuff. Any inquiries with stuff like that, feel free to reach out to me, and then I can get you in connection with Ali Esau, who does all of our federal funding stuff out in DC. And yeah, is there any further questions about that or anything else in particular? All right.
Sam, you have a question?
Clarification.
Can you step up to the mic?
Hi, Sam Lowe, Pine County Public Health Director, representing Becky because she's on a plane right now. But so you mentioned the shift based off the error rate, but there's also a cost shift that's happening for administrative costs. Normally, the federal government would fund half of the cost, which then makes its way down to us to administer the actual program. It's being cut in half. And since we don't anticipate the state government suddenly ponying up a whole bunch of money, that cost shift is going to be directly shifted down to the local government. We're going to have to fund that because we still have to administer the programs.
And that's in the SNAP program, right?
Correct. Yep. So
Okay.
there's two different cost shifts happening simultaneously, both the
Thank-
error rate and the administrative burden. So-
Thanks for reminding me, Sam.
All right. Yeah, and I think that meeting with Becky will be a good thing to do. This is a good starting point, but like I said, we want to help in any way possible, and I need to learn a little bit more about all this stuff as well. And I think it'll be good to meet with her and get some more clarifications on where your guys' struggles are and stuff like that. So, and yeah, this doesn't have to be. I'd love to come talk to you guys again in the future when we have more developments. And even if we need to do some one-on-one meetings or anything, I'm always down to schedule some meetings in my office, or I can come to you guys as well. So, yeah. With that, that was kind of my little introduction, and it was good to come out and break the ice. And yeah, thank you all.
Thank
And-
you.
And I think that was kind of the key, was getting just a conduit to the congressman's office about, these guys are working the trenches, they're feeling the full effects of some of the stuff that I don't know if they quite understand that in DC, that where it's actually gonna hit counties, and I appreciate keeping that line open so we can keep that communication going, and Becky will have a ton of stuff for you. So you'll learn a lot, I'll tell you that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Roger.
I did have one question, and I don't know that you can answer this, but it regards some of the pullback of some of the solar credits and tax, and we have our first, it's been in the works for a while, a big solar farm in northern Pine County, and they got approved by the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission. And it's a big project that's going to bring significant tax revenue to our county. But I'm wondering if, they haven't started construction yet that I know of. So with those changes in credits, is that going to affect that project or not? And which, it's not a statement whether we like or dislike solar.
Mhm.
It's,
I agree.
that it was already.
But where did yeah, it's already kind of in the works and that's gonna have a tax impact on us. So.
Yeah, I wish I had it.
Can you follow up and?
Yeah, for sure.
That's,
For sure.
that's what I wouldn't expect you to know that.
Yeah, for sure. And honest, I'll reach out to the DC team about that right as I sit down and
I don't know
we
how
can
big
try to
of
get
a
an
project-
answer to
It's a
Becky tomorrow.
big, it's a
Many-
big project.
Three-quarters of a million or?
Yeah,
or
it's a lot.
God.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think overall, the project was a how many $1 million project? It was,
A construction project?
yeah, it was like 50 or
50,
60 million.
Okay.
It's a,
Yeah,
it's a,
50
it's a
million.
big project.
Okay, yeah. I wish I had a specific
Oh,
answer regarding it, but yeah, I'll reach out about it and I'll get you,
Great.
if I can get it to Becky by tomorrow, I'll do that. If not, I'll email about it later, but yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, and if, I guess, one last point, if there's been any outreach to the office recently, if we've been a little hard to get to, I apologize if that has been the case. We've had a lot of staff turnover and then also me coming on fresh and August recess coming up, I had a lot to prepare for in that meantime, and it was a hectic August, so I hope that if there was any outreach and it was met with silence, I apologize that happened. That's not gonna happen anymore, so please reach out whenever.
Did you tell them that the permits are all approved and stuff?
Yeah.
For the
They are.
solar part?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all approved,
Okay.
so it's a bad timing for if something
It
happens.
did, yeah, okay, for sure. Well, I'll make sure that they know that, and I'm sure it's on the DC team's radar too.
The utility side is all approved.
Yeah. Have you guys worked with the DC team at all regarding that project at all? If you guys know,
Oh,
haven't? Or-
separate.
Okay, all right, sweet. Well, I'll get back to you guys on that.
Great,
Yeah.
thanks.
All right, thank you for having me, guys, and
All
I'll be
right.
sitting around for a little bit. I'll sit through the meeting and we can chat after if there's any.
All right,
So.
thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, we'll move on to Health Insurance Committee report. Who's taking that?
I can try.
Okay,
I
I
was
could not
on
make the meeting.
Zoom, but
Okay.
anyway, but I'll do it. So I think I understand. You read I think you got to read the minutes and or the description, but we met August 26th. And so the first point is to consider the 2026 insurance rate options ideally set by, we gotta do it by October 1st. So we got some time. And then approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield County Retained Pharmacy Rebate Program as recommended by Geller. There's a rebate in there that works to lower things. Consider enrollment in either the state or private paid medical family leave plan. And I think when I was listening there that it's just as easy to stay with the state, I think. It was cheaper, wasn't it, Dave?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Ludwig, there were, I think, 4 proposals submitted to Gallagher. 3 of them were more expensive and 1 of them was a little less expensive. And then there were also some nuances with that carrier that it would require us to transfer our other ancillary benefits to them.
Yeah.
And so I think there was no good basis to go with a private provider. And so I think, unless, that staying with the state is kind of what the direction was.
That's what I heard too. Okay, thanks, Dave. Approve renewing the 2026 life and disability contracts with current carriers, Minnesota Life and Madison National. And then consider ending the voluntary short-term disability plan. That's the high points that for us to come. So if there's anything in the other summary there that you have questions on, I guess I can try to answer them.
And Mr. Chair, I'm wondering if it might be, if Jackie, if you want to talk about the short-term disability and why we might end that, just so there's some clarity with that recommendation.
That would be helpful. Thanks, yeah.
Mr. Commissioner, members of the board, I'm Jackie Koifisto, HR Manager. The committee talked at length about ending the short-term disability plan. And the reason why is because if someone is utilizing the paid family leave, the percentage of payment that they would get would sort of conflict with short-term disability, and they really wouldn't get any money unless, or it wouldn't pay for the benefit unless you're earning, I think it's above 120,000. So for many people, it would make no sense to continue paying in that short-term disability payment when you're not going to get anything for it because your payment is going to be coming from the state. we could, one thing that Gallagher mentioned is that we could look, I think there's like 10 people that are enrolled in short-term disability that may want to continue. So if we wanted to, we could poll those people to see if they're still interested in having this plan. And if we continued with the plan, we would have to revamp it. We would have to change the benefit payment. We would have to increase it to make it worthwhile. And I know it's been common practice with counties that I've been talking with. They're just dropping the short-term disability plan because it just doesn't make any financial sense to have it. And that's also a benefit that's 100% employee paid. The county doesn't contribute.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right. And are these, is this we need a motion on this stuff?
Yes, and so the rate, you don't need to decide the rates today. I know there's been some discussion about potentially, could they be reduced, and that would save the county some money. So I don't know if you want to discuss that today or take action today, or.
Why don't we while we're talking about it? Because I think it's fresh enough in my mind that
Well, what was the recommendation from the?
the board voted to keep everything the same with the health insurance.
So 0%.
The group, the committee, not the board, the committee that met, by a show of hands.
And that's a 0%.
Yeah.
Okay, so no increase.
Keeping it where it is,
Okay.
is what they decided.
I subscribe to that theory because we went into this, you know, a little bit hesitant, but it's proven itself to be a good move. But we know we're a disaster or two away from eating up that excess money or reserve fund that we have in our insurance account. And we wanted to build that up so we could weather the storm, because we know it's at some point it's going to happen. And I think we're probably a year away possibly from being able to, if we have another good year, maybe next year's the time where we could actually reduce the rate. And I don't think the time is yet.
I agree with you, Steve, just because, and I said it in the committee, I think it's amazing that we are already having this conversation that we could reduce what we're paying to it because it's doing so well, but we're right on the cusp of Blue Cross Blue Shield has a whole different look. If you read in the pack that they think we're going to be over and we'll dip into our reserves. And Gallagher thinks we're going to be able to add to our reserves. So that,
So that tells me
that kind of traps me a little bit
stay in
too.
the middle.
Yeah, so if we take the middle, I say, but I think it's good that we sit like this. And I don't know, we're still pulling the same rate from 3 years ago. So I think that's an advantage. We haven't had any increase. Go ahead, Dave.
And I'm sorry, I just want to, as you're discussing this, I just want to make sure that everybody understands the context of the vote that was taken at the insurance committee meeting. And so each group that was represented at the committee meeting had one vote, whether they had one person or multiple people. And so there were 5 groups voting in favor of holding the rate steady. And there were 2 groups, the highway technicians and highway supervisors, who voted to reduce the rates. And so I just wanted to be sure that their view was specifically carried forward, because I know they wanted to be sure that their voice was heard.
Thank you for doing that. That is important. Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
So wasn't able to make this committee meeting. I did the one before, the couple before. I hear what you guys are saying, and I would probably generally agree with that. Except I know some of that goes back a couple of years when it looked like things were great. or going in the right direction, and all of a sudden there was a, whatever, it was a claim, rate changes, those sort of things, and all of a sudden you had to short fund that. I will say at that point, as I look back at the numbers, there was about a $700,000 fund balance when all of a sudden that issue came. Whereas today, we're looking at a $2.2 million fund balance. So it's not quite the same. I think we're in a much more comfortable position if we decided that we could make a slight reduction. I just wanted to throw that out. I'm not advocating for it or not, but we are in a little bit different position.
We are, I recognize that. And I appreciate that. I think what I would like to do, and I know you'd like to wrap this up, Matt, but I'd like to see what our total budget comes in at.
I want the
because-
discussion.
because-
I don't say we have to decide.
In the end, if we go over, it's gonna come from our reserve funds or, I mean, our total county reserve funds. We're gonna have to pay that bill one way or the other. And if our increases were like some counties where they were looking at a 17% increase, you gotta take that from someplace, and you take it out of your reserve funds, or you levy for it, or you do whatever. So, we've been very fortunate to get where we're at. I just wanna be cautious, so we don't spend,
I agree
use
with
that to balance our budget.
Though, we are more comfortable, but I don't have the crystal ball, and I don't know
Yeah.
how do you roll the dice? I don't know the balance. I'll be honest, I don't know how to do that.
This might be a question for Kelly. I'm just saying, if we did lower it, just say 1%, what kind of savings to the county would that be? And she's typing, so, yep.
Well, while she's making that calculation, Mr. Chair, this was not discussed by the insurance committee, but having a fund balance gives you some options, right? One option to reduce the premium cost might be to look at your reinsurance cap. And you could raise that, assume more risk, but lower your rate as well. And so there's reducing the rate isn't the only option that the fund balance gives you. And so I don't know if that makes sense or not, but just thinking about it since the last meeting because we're self-insured, there's a lot more flexibility as to what you can and can't do to manage your risk and your fund balance and your
No,
rates.
I get that totally, yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
What she's working on that is, if, maybe I'm misinterpreting but can we wait till the next meeting and when we get our budget presentation and see how this fits in rather than locking us into this one at the moment?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we can wait till the 1st of October.
Yeah, and for savings, 1% savings saves the county 37,300. And then it's about a $6,500 savings for the employees if we reduced 1%.
Okay.
Do you also have the number that saves $100,000?
I happen to. It would have to be a 2.68% decrease to save the county $100,000.
We way back had thrown that number out, just like, let's see what
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
does.
Okay.
We
And
might
that's-
need that 100,000.
That's
You know,
You just never know. I hope not, but we may.
we might. I would prefer, if it's okay with the committee, to defer this vote until we look at our total budget.
And we don't have a motion or anything, did we?
I don't think.
I agree. I just want to have a discussion
Yeah.
today when we're all in
No,
one spot.
I appreciate it. I think it's,
We worry about those.
it's a big deal.
And
Go.
Mr. Chair, that October 1st date is kind of a made up date. There is no like legal, date that you have to decide the rates. There's just a lot of dependencies on the rates, contract negotiations, open enrollment, those kinds of things. And so waiting until the next meeting is not an issue, but at some point you start to stack up the dependencies. And so just be conscious of that.
I think with that, that would be A of this, would we entertain, we don't have a motion on the floor anyways.
No,
Would we entertain B through E, getting that stuff done?
I think we can end the voluntary short term.
Yeah. I mean,
And, yeah,
if we worry about the setting the rate, we're not gonna vote on that, but if someone wants to make a motion to do the rest of it, and we'll get that stuff done.
so Mr. Chair,
Yes.
do you want me to make a motion? I say we approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield County retained pharmacy rate. And enroll in the state paid medical family leave. Approve renewing the 26 life disability contracts with current carriers. And I move ending the voluntary short-term disability plan.
Okay. And Roger second it. Okay, is there any discussion on them four? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. Okay, and then we'll work on the insurance rate options. I mean, essentially, we have to have a preliminary budget at the end of this month anyways. So that'll kind of set where we're at with that, so, we'll get that straightened out. Thank you. Okay, Sandstone Junction Trail. Are you taking this or?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Kathy George, Administrator for Sandstone, is here, and she has managed the project. And so she's probably in the best position to give an overview and explain the request.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore, and Commissioners. It's been a while since I've been in front of you all. Nice to see you. So the Sandstone Junction Trail was created back in the 90s by a well-meaning group who applied to the DNR, got a little grant because it wasn't a big cost project back then, to create the Sandstone Junction Trail. The trail is actually outside of the city of Sandstone. It's in Sandstone Township and Del Grove Township. And the city and the county were partners in maintaining that trail. And we haven't. The city hasn't made any effort. Why would the county, we haven't come to you and said, hey, by the way, we should be doing some maintenance on this trail. So I think there was an individual volunteer who, or maybe a little volunteer group back in the day, who would go out and do some clearing, but it's more than an individual can really stay on top of. So ever since I've been here for 8 years, I think the first contact I had from a senator was Senator Lori saying, people are complaining about this trail, you need to get on this trail. And, it's taken quite a while to figure out, well, how do we proceed with this? And eventually I just went out for bids to see what are we talking about? How much does it cost? We got 3 bids. I had the county engineer look at the bids and the city engineer, trying to avoid the whole engineering process, which would have increased the price quite a bit of the project. And they were both comfortable with Northland Constructors out of Duluth. So it's like, great, now we know a number to work with. So I came to the county, to your park committee, and presented the case and asked if the county would be willing to split the cost with us. And you graciously agreed. So that was awesome. It was like $76,000 each. And so in the meantime, the project is done and that's great. But the contractor admitted he didn't come out and look at the trail when he bid it. And there was a lot of bituminous that was not really there to do a mill and overlay. So you're using that existing bituminous, adding product to it and creating a new trail. There wasn't enough of the existing to work with. So they ended up having to use an extra 380 tons of bituminous, which is quite a bit for them to absorb. So the additional cost on the project was $45,625, and the contractor agreed to absorb the $5,625. His mistake, didn't come look at it ahead of time, but the fact remains that all that bituminous was still needed. So $20,000 or $40,000 remains of the overage. So I'm asking the county if you would be gracious again and split that 40,000 with the city, 20,000 from the county and 20,000 from the city.
All right, any questions for Kathy?
I was not around when that
Me neither.
was built, but I've seen it deteriorate and I think it's a great connecting thing from Sandstone out to the Munger and maybe this will be the impetus that forces the DNR to fix the Munger up. But nevertheless, I think we have funds in our park department that would that's what it's there for, to do projects like this. I think
That
it'd be a
would be-
good project.
And this has already been funded through that. This was just an overrun on there. So that's why it came here. Because it's already been approved. We just need to get it the rest of the way done, because the project is done. It just had some overrun on it. So
Yeah, it is pretty exciting too. It was barely done and people were out there using it already. So that's awesome.
Mr. Chair,
yes,
did you give an estimate on how long it should hold up this time?
They said it is really well built and this should hold up for a long time. They have full confidence in it. We, the city though, need to continue to maintain it, go out there, do crack sealing, clearing. Right now, with all the rain that we've gotten this season, the brush has really grown up around the trails. So we'll be taking care of that and just staying on top of it.
Mr. Chair, I have one more too.
yeah, go ahead.
So that's the snowmobile trail link too, right, into town?
Yes, I believe the snowmobile trail does go on.
And then do you have any idea the usership of it, the head count or, I know it gets used a lot in the winter, but how is it in the summer?
For sure. I had heard a lot of people trying to use the trail in the summer,
Yeah.
even with their bicycles, but
That's-
they would get flat tires because it is that bad. And if you tried to run on it, you would hurt your ankle. It was that bad. So I don't know that before there was as much pedestrians using it.
Go ahead.
We won't know in the reverse, but we will know going forward because the Northeast Minnesota Transportation Alliance has a trail counter. And Mark is in contact with them and
Oh.
we'll get it down here to put on our trails.
That'd be
And
awesome.
So cause I'd like to know some of the trails we have down here. What's the count on them?
Yes.
And I think to be clear, like Kathy said, they're taking care of this. They're doing all the work. And we're just helping fund it. So I think that's a huge win for us that we don't have to do it. And, I think it just makes a lot of sense to get this done. So,
Well, we're part of the maintenance package.
yeah.
I would add too that the city is going to add some signage out there. The Sandstone Junction Trail, nobody knows what it's called, and that it was funded by Pine County and the city. And then we did have a couple other donations received, the Sandstone Lions Club and Mille Lacs, what's the right term? The
I think
tribe.
that's exactly why, Mr. Chair, we created that fund on the land department, so these things would pop up, we'd have some funds that contribute to
Yep.
so.
Yep. So with that, we do need a motion. If anybody's wants to do that motion.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
so our total contribution on this whole project, over the past couple of years, then it will be 96,000 out of the park fund.
Yep.
Okay. That's a significant investment. And of course, I talked last week and Steve, you brought it up briefly, this trail might have been on the map, but it really wasn't used because of the disrepair. And if we are not careful, I'm thinking of the state in particular, the Munger Trail is going to be the same thing. It's going to be on the map and we're going to have these nice trails to go to nowhere because the state has refused to maintain the Munger Trail. And somehow we've got to impress upon them that we can't be doing all these ancillary things and connecting to the main trail if there really is no main trail anymore. So I don't know what to say, but we've got to press them on that.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Otherwise, we're just wasting our money.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. It was just brought to my attention that in the Personnel Committee organizational structure, we were supposed to authorize internal, external recruitment and identify commissioner involvement in the interview process for the auditor treasurer. So we did not do that.
And Mr. Chair?
Yes.
The policy provides that either the full board or a committee of the board is involved in the selection or interview process for department heads. And so if you want to give some clarity to how you want to proceed, that would be helpful.
It doesn't matter to me either way.
Either way is fine with me. I can't remember how we did it.
When we hired Kelly, it was the full board. Because I think it was when we went from appointed, or when we went from elected to appointed, so the full board was involved. I'm not sure. We talked a little bit about it in this personnel committee. Me and Matt did agree that we would sit on it. Cause they want some involvement from commissions. So. Or
I
if
think,
somebody else wanted to, or if we want the whole board. I guess that was.
I think two commissioners are fine, and it is so if the day of the interviews, if one of the personnel committee people can't be there, make sure we can get somebody else there.
And I think that's what we had kind of talked about too, is, you know, yeah, is just to make sure we had two. But that's why we wanted to discuss it here. We didn't necessarily make a recommendation.
If you want to use personnel or someone separate.
Yeah, I don't know if someone else wants to,
Hey,
would rather be on it.
You on that, Roger?
Not at the moment. Was that too fast or what?
I'll make a motion that we, assign that task to the personnel committee and with the understanding that if, no, two commissioners should be involved in the interview.
And so if the personnel committee, if one of them can't make it, the chair will appoint a substitute.
And Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
This is for the auditor position?
The auditor treasurer.
Auditor treasurer. So what we're doing is we're going from electing somebody.
No.
No, we did. We
Years
used to
ago.
elect that position, correct? Okay, so hear me out, please.
5 years ago.
Hear me out, please.
Yeah.
So we're going from a position where the entire county got to choose, correct? When it was elected, and now we're bringing it down to just two people, just for clarification.
If you think we should all be there,
That would be where I'm going with this. I
Okay.
would think it would be a full board just because of how that position was chosen before. It was chosen by the entire county. At least I think there should be a representative of every district. That's my opinion.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second to do the personnel committee? Or two commissioners? We didn't have a second, right? You made the motion. So the motion on the floor is to have two. Does someone want to second it?
I'm contemplating what he just said. The whole county is representative, if there's a commissioner from each district there. There's nothing wrong with that to me.
no, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Okay. So what is everybody, where are we at then?
That first motion would die for lack of a second, and
Okay.
we'd wait for somebody to make something different.
I would make the motion to have every commissioner involved with the process of choosing our auditor.
It would be for the interviews, correct? That's what it would be for. So for the interview process.
Yeah, an open interview for entire public. put it out on the internet. Try to get the best candidate.
Okay, so we have a motion to include the whole board. Someone want to make a second to that?
I'll second.
I'm trying to figure out how that will work. Are we gonna have the whole bunch, or is someone gonna pare it down to the top 3 or 4, or how will that work? Cause I don't think we wanna sit for 10 people and.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, members of the board. So typically, if you approve the motion as I understand it, Human Resources would evaluate the candidates, identify, and rank them, and then propose to interview the top typically 3 or so candidates, depending on how the rankings fall.
I'll second that.
Roger.
That's fine. I think I was,
Yeah, no, that's fine. Roger had seconded
Okay.
already.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
So, that's the way this would go then. And that's how it went last time. I mean, I think we interviewed 3 or 4. I don't remember exactly what it was. So, alls I gotta say is we do need, if this is what's gonna happen, then we need people's involvement. So, I'm not sure if not everybody can make it, if that's gonna be an issue, or do we have to work around everybody's schedule? That's the only thing that we are looking at, because this does get a little,
Mr. Chair?
yeah.
I would ask that the Human Resources Director prepare a schedule as soon as possible, certainly this week or in the next couple of days, that identified the proposed interview dates. And then those dates could be checked against commissioner schedules, and then the applicants would know what those dates are well in advance of
That
applying.
sounds good.
Okay. And do we do this? Do we do that? That's just normal?
Yeah, yeah, if you want the whole board to be involved, then typically you would identify the dates when you were posting the position, so applicants, when they apply, know when they're expected to show up.
Okay.
Because it would be a county board meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
That's in this motion. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. All right. All right, Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Services. Consider the response to Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Executive Director Dina Wuros regarding a new commissioner represented on their organization. So I did receive an email, all you guys got it in your board packet, that our current representative, which is Commissioner Waldham, has not been attending and not communicating these meetings. So they had requested for a commissioner that would be involved and start attending their commission or their meetings and be involved with the commission. So I did reach out to commissioners to see if anybody would be interested in taking Commissioner Waldham's place, and Commissioner Holland has agreed to do that. He was on this committee previously. So I think this is just another, it is important that we go to our committees. We all understand that there is a lot of commitments and everything. We have a lot of stuff going on, but I think that's up to you, if this is your committee, to arrange that and try to get it. It is important. So with that, do we need a motion, or I just appoint?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, members of the board, the joint powers agreement requires it's an appointment of the board.
Okay.
And the joint powers also provides for the appointment of an alternate, which currently is Commissioner Moore. And so if you made no change, Commissioner Moore would remain the alternate.
Okay. So we do need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do we have a second? I'll second it. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same thing. All right, Commissioner updates, Highway 23 Coalition. Waldham,
I did not attend.
Okay.
Save the county some per diem and mileage again on that one.
Snake River Watershed Plan Partnership. I did go, we had talked about a few projects they got going on. We're finishing up the summer of the second year of our budget there, so looking at doing it was the first biennium of our budget with the plan partnership, so they're kind of moving a little bit of the money around because we put it in certain things. Some of it's gone over really good, some of it hasn't, so they're working around some of that, and I don't know, it was a lot of good information. So East Central Regional Development Commission, Waldham.
I did not go to that.
Okay.
Save some per diem and mileage.
Health Insurance Committee, which we kind of went over.
We went over health insurance already, Mr. Chair.
NLX was canceled. Housing Redevelopment Authority, Economic Development Authority.
Yep, I went to that. We had our meeting August 27th. It was a general meeting, talking about things going on in the county, nothing much, but, and then, probably the most important update was the, $57,000 is in the housing, getting put in for the annual payment into the housing trust fund, so. There's some more coming on some other projects, but I can't report on them yet.
And that housing trust fund is a state appropriation.
Yep, state appropriations, yep.
Okay. Pine County Zoning Board.
Oh, yeah, we had a meeting there too. That was a big, kind of a big meeting, but there wasn't any variances or anything like that. Kelly went over the minor subdivisions, short-term rentals in the county, the cannabis business stuff, Windermere Township shoreland, which had not been reviewed by the county. There has to be at least as strict as the counties, so the board had to go through that. I think that's gonna be acted on later. So then there was the, I think, the floodplain DNR model ordinance was reviewed. And then updates by the zoning board people that attended the variance class they took. It was 3 of them went. That was Skip, Patrick, and Les. So they, on how to handle variances in the county. Otherwise, it was pretty much, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Central Minnesota Emergency Medical Services Joint Powers Board.
That meeting is this Friday. That's not, wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it got moved, so Debbie puts it in there because it's supposed to be on last Friday, but they always move them around. Sorry, I should have told you.
Okay. Was there any other meetings anybody went to? Go ahead.
I know there's a lots of civic and this and other meetings that we all go to and ask, give a update or report, but I did want to just report on one, and that was the annual meeting for the Pine County Farm Bureau. They'd asked me to give a county update, and we also had our state ag commissioner, Tom Peterson, was there and gave an update and his perspective on ag as well. And of course, we talked about the big value of ag in our county and in the state, and how it generates huge amounts of either income or tax revenue, even though there's not a lot of people that are involved in that. And it's being aware of all those sort of things, even right down at our county level. So it was good to hear from him and whatever. So thanks.
Okay, I got kind of a similar thing, but I met with the USDA and Soil and Water people, and on our upcoming meetings, there's a bus tour on Thursday, and it ties into the one watershed, one plan things, and all the projects that they kind of commingle funds to support a project that ultimately cuts down on the amount of runoff that's going into the Snake River or the lower St. Croix, or in years to come, it'll be the Nemadji or, all of our watersheds. So anyway, unfortunately Thursday, I got about 3 other meetings. I'm gonna try to get on that bus tour for a little while, but we'll see how that works.
And I will not be able to make that. And I've got another online one at the same time. So
Yeah.
otherwise, it sounds like it's a great
Yeah,
resource.
it is. I think it's one of those things that over the years we've looked at and said, these guys are doing this and these guys are doing this. Wouldn't it be nice if they did them in joint venture? And they're doing it now. And so we're all involved in these, and we're involved as county commissioners by going to these meetings. And so I think that's why it's so important that we go to these meetings that we're assigned to, because that's where somebody looks down the table and says, are you guys interested in that in Pine County? Well, yeah, it affects us.
All right. So under other, today is the last official county board meeting for David with Pine County. So we're so good at doing certificates. We did do a certificate of appreciation to David. We fully expect this in your new office. Some Pine County to Aiken County. And I did sign it, the board chair, and then our new county administrator signed it as well. So, I just want to say thanks, David, for my 10+ years on the board. It's been awesome having you. So, the day you told me, was a pretty good kick in the gut, I'll say that. So, but I do appreciate everything you've done for this county and me personally. So thank you and good luck. So.
You don't get a clock.
No clock? No, you're not retired.
You do get some maple syrup though from me, because I was here when David was hired, and I think I'm the only county commissioner that outlasted David. So I appreciate it. I was the board chair for many years when you were here, and we got to communicate a lot, and I appreciate your leadership, David, and thanks for what you did for Pine County.
All right.
Can I be very brief?
You can.
I do have to say thank you. When I came here, I needed a job and I wanted an opportunity, and you gave me both of them. There's no better staff anywhere, so I hope nobody from Aiken is listening. And I do appreciate it. And Steve, yeah, I honestly thought that you were gonna still here. So things don't always work out the way we plan them, but they often work out the way they should.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case here. And I will note, yes, I'll take this and put it up in my office. There already is a piece of Pine County memorabilia in my new office.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Good. The other thing I just was also brought to my attention, it is your birthday today. So happy birthday as well. So, again, appreciate that. With that, everybody take a peek at your upcoming meetings. There is a little reception for David, following the board meeting. So I think we have cake.
Mr. Chair?
I'm not sure if it's birthday cake or not, but,
Probably both. Hey, I got one more thing on other.
okay.
It's still there, from what I understand, maybe David could clarify, or Kelly, there's still a vacancy on the ECRDC for the municipality position for Pine County. Is that correct? There was nobody,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's as far as I understand. Yeah. So just a reminder, there's still a vacancy that's been available
And so that would be open to any city council member?
Says municipality representative, when a vacancy exists, each mayor or council person will have at least 30 days in which to nominate a mayor or council person to represent all of municipalities in that county. The mayors of each municipality hall select from the nominees the municipal representative by the vote of a majority of the mayors actually voting on the issue under such circumstances, as are to be verified by the commission, that all mayors have notice and an opportunity to vote on the decision either by mail or a special meeting. In the event that there is a tie after ballots have been received, a second ballot will be mailed out. In the event that the second ballot ends up in a tie, a coin toss will determine the outcome. So as far as I understand, that position has been vacant since the last election. Nobody seems to be interested in it for the municipal representative. For
Okay.
CRDC. Just want to make that part of the record.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Like I said, otherwise take a peek at your upcoming meetings and